It's the last week of July, and that means it is time for me to get set up for the month of August. Come with me today, and let's do an August plan with me. Well, hi everyone, this is Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. And today, I'd like to invite you to grab your planner or open up your OneNote file and go ahead and get set up for August while I get set up for August. I don't know about you, but it has been extremely hot here. This week, they are calling for temperatures near 100 degrees almost every single day. Thank goodness I have trees around me, and that at least provides some shade in the yard. But things are heating up this summer for sure, and that made me choose a theme for this month, the month of August, and that is a pool theme. I just really wanted to be cool in the pool. That's what I kept thinking about. So if that sounds interesting to you, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not done so already. It is free, but it really does help out my channel. Go ahead and turn those notification bells on all the way if you have not done so already. And please feel free to share this video with anyone that you think might find it helpful. Okay? All right, well, with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the computer. I am working on the last week of July and getting ready for August. So let's go see what that looks like. All right, well, as you can see here, I sat down yesterday, which was Sunday, and did my weekly plan for the week. I like to start my weeks on Monday and go through the following Sunday. And so you can see here, I have my week pretty much planned out. One thing that I love to do is I love to put links to any meetings that I might already have set up. So because our church has a number of elderly people in it and people that live remotely, we do a lot of online things for our church. And so when you see these links here for this and for church, I run the online portion. So I have the links there already so that when I look at my calendar, all I have to do is click and go, okay? It takes me right to the meeting. So I know in the past I have told you that you can link to other pages in OneNote. You can link to videos and places on the web in OneNote. You can link to things like your Google Calendar if you would like to in OneNote. You can also link to, in this case it happens to be Zoom meetings or any of those links that you might have for meetings in Teams or you know, something like that. And so I think that is very, very, very handy. All I have to do is come here, click on the link, and boom, I'm at church just like that. Okay? All right. So I love having those links on the page. That really helps keep me organized and on track. I like the way my weekly page is working. If you are new here and you want to learn more about what my notebook looks like and how I get this snazzy looking background and what all of these things are, these links for daily pages are on the side, or all of these links that you see across the top here up in the black, the little tabs at the top. I have videos for those. I will leave those linked. It is the 2025 Planner playlist. And if you start at the beginning, I go through all of the steps of how to do the notebook, how to do the links across the top, how I set up all of my pages, how I set up my daily pages and my links here. And I go step by step so that if you want to do that, you can start there and build as you go. Once I have all of that established, for my months, I created a basic month. So let me show you that. In my basic month section, let me go back up to the top. I start with my very first page that is the top page of every single month that I do, and that is my inbox. That is where I dump all of my stuff, all of the thoughts that come to me, all of the tasks that I have that come up, any notes that people If I'm talking to them and they give me a note about a book to read or a job to do or a movie to watch or, whatever it happens to be, I add it directly to my inbox. That way I know there's only one place for me to go and look for things. Okay. So I love having that. Again, everything that I'm going to talk about today, there are more in-depth videos if you say, but wait, I have a question about those tags or whatever those colorful things are. There's videos about that as well. Okay, so I have that. I have my dashboard, which is kind of a monthly overview, which I put long-term calendar items, specific home and financial tasks that I want to get done for that particular month. I have a little currently section so I can keep track of all the fun things that I'm doing. And then I have an in the garden section over here. So basically I have my whole page. Let me scroll out so you can see the whole page. I have my whole page here, and basically I have it divided into 4 sections. Where to be, what to do, what I'm currently doing, and in the garden. Okay. And I'll show you when I set that up a little bit more about that. Then I have my health and habits page. And again, this is where I kind of just keep track of, those exercise steps, blood sugar numbers, weight. You could put blood pressure in there, how many hours you're sleeping, all of that kind of stuff. All of that about your health and the habits that you're doing to keep yourself healthy. Okay. And my personal meal planning page is where I have my shopping list and a space up here for me doing my meal planning. And that works great. And I have that in every month as well. Then I have goals that I update, and I have them broken down by monthly goals, and then I have them broken down into weekly goals. Okay. Again, there's videos about that. And then we get into our weekly pages, which basically look like this. And I have found over the past couple of years that this layout really works for me. So I have a top focus for the week, projects that I'm working on, people that I want to pray for or that I'm concerned about. Weekly to-do things, and some of those things come from the goals, the weekly goals that you saw here. So here's kind of week 1. I'm working in, cleaning zone 1. I've got, what I'm reading, local tourist day, that kind of thing, the things that I want to do. They kind of go in this section. I can also put any home maintenance things, car maintenance things, that kind of thing there. And then I have a section, if I want to, I can move things once they're finished down to completed tasks. Okay. Sometimes I just highlight them and say they're done and move on. Then I have a space for people that I want to specifically communicate with that week. Let's say it's somebody's birthday. I might put in here, contact Nick about his birthday. Or, if it's something that I need to call somebody, a doctor's appointment or a bill that I got or something like that. If I want to order theater tickets or something like that, I will put that here in communications. If I've got anything to mail or text, I will do that as well. Okay. Then waiting on, those are things that I have asked other people to do. Like, can you review this document for me before I send it out to everybody in the congregation? I would put that on my waiting on list. Okay. Maybe if I've put it in an order and it hasn't come in right away, I would put that on my waiting on list so that I don't lose track of things. Okay. Basically, all of these little lists are related to David Allen's Getting Things Done. If you've not read that book or you don't know anything about getting things done, I sound like a commercial today, but I have videos on getting things done. I'll leave those linked as well. I call it GTD for short. But David Allen talks about keeping all of these lists so that you can take things out of your head, put them on paper in the proper place on the proper list, and then you don't lose information and you don't feel that pressure of something I've forgotten. Is something going to sneak up on me? Gosh, I hope not. All right, so that's what all these lists really are. And then I have an errands or to buy list. I live in a rural location, and so when I leave my house and go out, I like to do as many little errands as I can all at one time. So, for example, if I'm going to do something at the church, it's about a mile from the place where I take my trash. So if I have any trash to do, I'll go ahead and take that, so that I can dump that off on my way to church. And then once I'm there, I'm halfway to the grocery store. So if there's anything else I need from the grocery store, I might as well go ahead and get that rather than make a special trip just for the grocery store. On the way back, I passed by the post office. So if I have anything to mail, I try to do that as well. So I consolidate all of my errands and all of my things to buy, and I put them all on one list, and then I can order that list in the order that I need it to be, or, again, I just don't forget things when I do it that way. Okay? All right, this little section over here, for those of you who are new, this is kind of my Crystal Clear Life section. So what video am I working on, planning, filming? What video am I working on, prepping it and scheduling it and getting it uploaded to YouTube, okay? Then I created these cute little icons for my household chores. So I have a little grocery bag for shopping, and a little house for home tending, and mail if I need to go to the post office, laundry, car care, cat care, all the things. And again, I will just take the little highlighter up here and I will mark them off, when it's done, just like that. Okay. All right. Let's undo that so we don't have that there permanently. And finally, over here in this little section, I have my meal planning for the week. So once I have written it out on that meal plan page that you saw, and I'll add anything to the shopping list that I don't already have, then I will come over here and put it down for the week. Now, once I plan meals for the week, they are not set in stone, meaning I just know that I have 3 or 4 meals ready for the week, and we can eat them at different times. And generally, it's just my husband and myself. So if I make something like you'll see on the meal plan for this week, if I make a whole big quiche, we can't eat all of that at one time. So you'll see it spread out over a couple of days in my meal plan. Same thing with pulled pork. I can't eat a whole big pot of pulled pork. So part of it gets eaten, part of it gets frozen. And there you go. Or if I get a rotisserie chicken, I use that in different meals. So that's what you'll see in the meal planning. Okay. All right. And then way over here, I have a notes section where I can write down anything that either occurs to me during that week or that I need to make note of. I have a place to do that right here. Okay. And then down at the bottom is kind of my week at a glance. So I know what things I already have planned and what things that I need to take care of. This particular link right here is to my weekly review. My weekly review, I usually sit down and do on Friday, which means kind of closing out the week and, making any notes, making sure I've taken care of everything that I need to, and then thinking about the week forward, moving anything forward that I need to. And then on Sunday, I sit down and finalize those plans, including the meal planning. Okay, so I kind of break it up into 2 different things. The first day is close out, and the second day is planning for the next week. Okay. All right. So that's my weekly page. This is really, I think, the workhorse of my planner. I use these pages, very much. And then I've created a Franklin planner style layout as a daily page. And here's an example of what that looks like. And again, if you'd like to see a video on how and why I created this, I've got them linked for you in the comments up above or down in the description box below. But the Franklin Planner page is very helpful when I am really, needing to be on track. I don't always use a daily page, but sometimes I do use them religiously every month, or, every day of every month. And what I really like is the notes section. It gives me specific information to write down specific notes, especially if it's one of those weeks where I'm contacting a lot of people and I have a lot of things that I want to keep track of. Not so much during the summer, but certainly other times of the year. So I just wanted to share that with you. And the rest of my pages here are just the rest of my dailies. Okay. And then there's week 2, more dailies, week 3, and so on and so forth. And I have 31 dailies. just in case it's a month where there's 31. And then I have a reflections page. This one happens to be in my basic month. It was just December's that I copied in here. But I'll show you when I go through how I clean it up for the next month, okay? All right, and on down to some extra templates that I might want, and then finally my notes page. Now, I do have 2 other pages that I want to add to this basic month that I kind of put in June and then tweaked for July, and so I want to add them here. So I'm going to do that before I copy this basic month. So I'm going back to July, which is the page that we started on, and the pages that I want to include are down here. So one of the pages that I added in June and July was this garden monthly page. And, you know, here's just kind of a quick peek at what that might look like. I want to add this kind of as a template to my monthly, you know, my basic month, so that I get one of these pages every month. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to right click and say copy or move. And when I do that, I'm going to say take it to my basic month and make a copy of that. And now it will be in my basic month and also my financial snapshot. So I'm going to make a copy of that. Same thing, move or copy. And I'm going to take that to my basic month and I'm going to say copy. And there you go. So now when we go and look at the basic month, if you go all the way to the bottom, you will see those 2 pages that I added. The garden journal for the, you know, for each month, and then my financial snapshot. Again, it says July, but I can change that, you know, as I go from month to month, okay? All right, so now all I need to do for August is I need to go down here and I need to choose basic month, and I can copy this entire section, okay? So I'm going to go down here to move or copy. It's going to come up and say, where would you like to move it to? And I'm going to say, put it in my Crystal 2025 Life Planner, okay? And I'm going to say, make a copy of that. And when I do that, it will go through and start processing. And then it will come up as a new tab right up here. And it will say basic month 2 because it made a copy of it, okay? So I'm going to bring up basic month 2. The first thing that I'm going to do so that I don't get confused is I'm going to go up here to this tab and click on it, and I'm going to say rename, and it is going to be August, okay? And then I am going to change the color as well. So section color, I'm going to go orange. And you'll see why once we get started in our planning, okay? So now I have the entire pages that I just talked to you about in my basic month over here, right? So it starts with the inbox and the dashboard, etc. I have those exact same blank pages now in August, okay? So now all I have to do is go through and clean them up and get them ready for August. So instead of saying month, I can say August, inbox, okay? And I have all of my customized tags there ready to go. And then I can go into my month dashboard and change that to August as well. And I'm going to take out this December calendar. I'm going to go to my year-long calendar. And I want August, which is right here. And I'm going to highlight that. And believe it or not, I had nothing pre-planned for the month of August. I know that's unusual, but that's true. Let's see. So we'll do that, and we will paste August right in there. So it really is helpful if I have pre-planned something back here, like, you know, like look at February. There are quite a few things scheduled in February. I can go ahead and pull those forward right into the particular month, you know, when I have things scheduled. Okay, and then I can make this a little bit wider so that I can add things, because I now know that I am going to Winchester for the day, and I have a shower to go to, you know, things like that. So I know that over the last couple of days, things have come up, and that's what I do. And the thing that I like about this kind of planner, you know, is that if I have multiple things on a day, like if I'm doing something after the baby shower, if I'm going to a pool party, I can also add that on there, and it just keeps adding it on and adding it on. Okay? All right. Let's see. This will be August, and the reason that I picked this color is because, let me show you those cool by the pool stickers that I'm doing. I store all of my stickers in my personal notebook, and I have a section in my personal notebook called stickers, and you can see over here all of the various stickers that I have. I really need to do a video about organizing these stickers. But this is a set that I bought from Doodlebug Draws on Etsy for the month of August, and I just think they are really, really cute. She often includes this little mouse, which I just think he's adorable. So I want to set up my August date thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of him, and I'll paste him here on the side. And then I want to create a I'll do a little text box, and I'll just say August. Okay, and let's make that a bigger size. There we go. And then I can change the font style if I'd like. Maybe I want something that's kind of like this, you know, kind of like the font that we see here on the screen. I have not picked anything in advance, so I'm just kind of, no, that's way too big. Let's see. And sometimes this playing around is really the fun part. Okay, I think I will go with that one. The other thing I wanted to show you is, as I use the eyedropper tool in PowerPoint, again, there's a video, I'm sorry, to get all of my colors that coordinate with this particular set. So since this cute little guy is holding this beach ball, what I want to do is I want to pick out a color that kind of coordinates with him. He's got a lot of that blue, and I kind of like that blues. So I want to choose a font color over here, and I want it to be, I want to go to more colors, and I want to customize those colors. And the customized color is, the red is 41. So I'm just going to type these numbers in here. And the green is 140. And the blue is 216. And you'll see that that comes up with this color. And I want to say, you know, make that my new color. And I'm going to say, okay. And now for August, I have that cute little thing there. And then I can do 2025 if I want. And then I can change that maybe to, let's do the orange color. Okay, so again, customize my color, go to more colors just to show you guys again. And the orange is 219, so it's got a lot of red in it. 123 and 43, just a little bit of blue. 43, and that comes up with that orange color. You know, they're complementary colors, so they look good together. So let's say okay. So now we have our cute little mouse and August 2025. Okay, now what I like to do is I like to take my lasso tool and I like to circle both of these things together like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy those, and I'm going to go down here and give myself some more space. I'm going to paste them, not a regular paste, not a merging format, but all the way down here on the end, paste as a picture. And what that does is it takes my text box and my cute little graphic and puts them together as one thing, okay? So if I hover over this mouse up here, you see he's his own graphic. And then the text box is next to him. But with the one that I just pasted, you see it is all now one graphic, okay? So I can take that and copy that, and I can go back from my personal notebook to my 2025 notebook, and I always like to paste on the side because I don't like things to move around. I can paste that little graphic in there, okay? And now I have that instead of this word month right here. All right, so I can get rid of the word month, okay? And I can either make my little graphic smaller and put him up there so he's kind of floating, you know, so he looks like he's sitting on the word task like that, okay? And I think that's kind of cute. Let's see, is this color of shading correct? Probably not. It looks a little bright to me, but again, I can do the same thing for the color shading, okay? So if I look back at the personal notebook, I can grab these colors. I can copy these colors for the orange. Actually, I can take the whole thing if I want, because I might use other colors. So let's just make a copy of that so we have those right. And we'll go back over here, and I can just paste it over here out of the way at the moment. I'll paste it down here. There we go. And if I want to do this color shading, I can do the same thing. So I can highlight that, and I can go up here to my color shading, or if you don't have things on your quick access toolbar, you can just go here to table and shading, and the drop down gives you the same more colors. So you could go ahead, maybe I don't want that orange, maybe I want the sunshine yellow. So let's try that one. 249 and 207 and 109. And that gives me that sunshine yellow. So I will say okay, okay. And now I have that sunshine yellow. And now that I have it in there and it's already set up for my color shading right there, I can just click it and it will fill in that right color. Even if I do it over here now on my table, you see it's that yellow color. So I can just hover over that and say, yep, do the yellow, okay? I could make them different colors if I wanted to. You know, I could alternate every other color if you wanted to. Really, the design choice is up to you at this point, okay? All right, so let's look at this that he's standing on here, this one that says tasks. And let's go back and do some shading on that one. Again, we're going to look at more colors. And for this one, maybe we'll try the turquoise color for, you know, that pool color. So that will be 94, 179, and 201. Sometimes if you buy a set of stickers, they will give you the hex code, which is this number down here. And you could copy that hex code, right? So I could copy that, and I could take that right in here. Let's say okay, so it does that. I could go into my little turquoise box, and I could paste that hex code. Now I have that hex code for this particular color as well, okay? Sometimes the hex code is less numbers to type. Sometimes you can type in the red, blue, green colors. It doesn't really matter, okay? Now over here for my my currently stuff, I can go back to my home and I can check and see what color text I want. And you'll notice down here under recent colors, those two colors that I just did for writing the word August and 2025 are here. So there's the blue and there's the orange, okay? So I'm going to pick the blue for my currently section like that. We are about done with this section, but I'm not going to remove it yet. I'm going to go over here and get my in the garden stuff. My garden stuff I store in my long-term planner, and I have a master gardener year, and I have the tasks that I normally do in August are already laid out for me. So I will make a copy of those and I will take them back to August. And out here in this section where it says in the garden, that's where I will paste that information, okay? So I'm going to highlight in the garden, and I'm going to do Control V to paste. And now you see, again, I have some of that sunshine yellow August in the garden, but that's just text. I could change it to blue if I wanted to, or I could go back to orange if I wanted to, whatever you want to do, okay? And if you don't like it, undo, undo, and leave it the way that it was, okay? All right, now I'm finished with these colors, so I'm going to take this whole chart and I will cut it and I'll take it with me to the next page. Okay. Let's see. Let's put it on our inbox so that we can find it if we need it again. I will just throw it on here and paste it so that I have it if I need it for any of my other colors. Okay. All right. For the August dashboard in the garden, let's find some little cute graphic to put up here in this corner. So again, I'm going to jump back and my personal notebook. Maybe I want this cute swimming pool, and so we'll do a Control C to copy that and jump back with our little back button. Again, I like to paste on the side so that things don't get moved around. Let's put it down here, pool day, and let's go back and get the one that says pool day. No, I like this one better. Let's do this one. All right, and back to 2025. Again, paste on the side. I can make that one bigger if I want. And put it by the side. How does that look? I love being able to play around with the digital graphics, you know, using them over and over and over again. I think that's really cool. And, you know, it's amazing to me. These graphics, they really don't cost a whole lot. I might buy a whole sticker set and it might be $3. And I can use them over and over again, year after year after year if I want to. I think that's pretty cool. Okay. All right. So there's my dashboard set up. And now all I have to do is, as I go through the month, go back and fill it in. Okay. I think that looks pretty cute. All right. Health and habits. There's my cat eating his vegetables and sleeping well. You know what? I think I'm just going to leave that for today. I don't think I'm going to change that. I'm going to jump on down here to the weeks because I want to show you, again, with some simple shading, how a week can change really, really quickly. Okay? So here is the week that you saw all set up. The very first thing that I want to do is I want to take out this just regular meeting, and I'm going to add that one that I have over here with the link. So I'm going to copy that link just like that and say copy and go back to August. You know what? While I'm here, I'm going to move August all the way down so it's at the beginning. To move a section tab, to move a section in your notebook, all you do is click on it and hold, and then you'll see there's a little tiny arrow that's going across in between each tab, and you can move that wherever you'd like. So I could put it here if I want, okay? I could move it all the way down here at the end if I want. I kind of like to have my current month, you know, the current months that I'm working on kind of near the beginning. And then any of the extra things, they go to this drop down menu down here. So you see February, March, April, and May are down here at the end because I'm really not using them that much. Okay. Now, some of you may be looking at my tabs and go, wait a minute, Crystal, why do you already have October set up? Well, I had a lot of things going on in October and I needed to do some advanced planning. So I went ahead and set up October. All right, back to August. So here in August, again, those colors aren't right. It is as simple as going through and clicking in the section that you want and changing the color, okay? So I can click and change the color, click and change the color. That's why I like having these things on my quick access toolbar up here. It makes things really, really fast, okay? So I'll do all the ones that I want blue. So we'll do each one of these, and then the two for my meal planning, and then the ones, this entire row. So I can do this entire row. See how I'm highlighting the entire row, and click, and there it is. Okay, already the page looks much different, right? Just with a little splash of color. All right, now I can go back in here to red, and I can do the drop down recent colors. I'm going to pick that sunshiny yellow color that I just did, that we created for the other page, for the calendar, and I'm going to add that sunshine yellow. When I think of August, I think of being in the pool, the cool water, and the bright sunshine. So I think that's great. Okay. All right, January I can get rid of. Let's go back and grab that cute graphic that we just made for our dashboard. This guy right here. We'll make a copy of him. And I noticed that he's not on our August inbox, so we'll put him there, right up there. Isn't he cute? And then we'll take him back to week 1, paste on the side, and get him up there and put him in place. Okay. I was going to get the I was going to go get the link for that Monday meeting, highlight it, copy it. I get so carried away doing this. I love the graphics. So let's do this. So sometimes I forget. Now let's go get the one for church. And we will copy that. Control C to copy. Go back to August. Control V to paste. There you go. And now those links are in place. Okay, so the last thing that I have to do is change this brown box, or I could leave it brown because my little mouse is brown. That would work too. And I can change the notes. Let's do a little bit of orange. So we've got a little bit of orange and brown over here to pick up some of the orange and brown over here. Okay. And that's really it. That's all I have to do for the week. Now, you may say to yourself, well, Crystal, now you got to do week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5. Yeah, that's right. I do. But it's really not hard because all I have to do now is take this and copy it. And then I go to week 2 and I take this and I paste. Okay. And now it's correct. Let's get rid of this box of December. Okay, so it's really not, and I go to week 3. It doesn't take long. And I click and I paste and I go to week 4. Let's get rid of January. And I click and I paste and it's done. Okay, so it really does not take long at all. Okay, and if you want to get little minute movements in your moving of your graphics and stuff, you just hold down the Alt key. Okay, and then the same thing for the stuff here at the bottom. So I just click on this one, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Okay, all right, and I can do this one. I just have to highlight that, and I can choose the orange. Okay. All right, now, again, I just enjoy playing with these things, and I get into it, and sometimes I forget to put all of the graphics in there, and that's okay. It's really not that important. The graphics aren't what is important. What is important is the functionality and getting the, the weeks to be the workhorse, to do all of the work that I need them to do, okay? Now that he's the right size, I'll copy him again. We'll take it to week 3, paste on the side or down below, and put that in place. Okay? All right. So you see how I update all of my weekly pages so that eventually they all will look just like this. The Franklin Planner pages, The only thing that I need to do here is I need to change these little calendars. But again, like I said at the top, I don't always use my daily pages, so I'm probably not even going to worry about that for the month of August, because as you saw in my long-term planner, I don't have anything planned, and that's exactly how I like my summers to be. As a retired teacher, summer was always a time for me to rest, relax, and rejuvenate for the school year ahead. And now that I'm retired, I even have more time to do that. So I'm just very happy about that. So I'm not going to mess with my daily pages right now because I'm not sure that I'm going to need them. But if I did, all I would need to do, even if I don't want these calendars, is I can just get rid of these, okay? And I could start using my page without even having a calendar on there, okay? All I need to do is change this from April to August, okay? So that works really, really well for me. And in fact, I think in my monthly one that I'm going to go back and take out those little calendars that the Franklin Planner pages have, because I'm finding that I really don't need them. If I need to look at a calendar, I simply jump back to my dashboard and I have my calendar listed there. Okay? All right. Now, going on down, December reflections will become August. Okay, and I can put that same little graphic on here if I want. There he is. I can make him bigger if I want. Okay, I can change these colors, you know, to yellow if I want. Let's see, let's try a different look. Let's do some of these as yellow like that, every other one. This little chart that you see down here, it's just a table. A lot of the things that I do in OneNote are simply tables because they stay organized very, very well. Okay? All right, that's not the right blue, is it? Let's find that other blue. It's more of a bright turquoise. I just think these are so cute. And you know, the graphics, like I said, are not important, but they certainly keep me motivated to come back and fill in and, you know, all of that kind of thing, okay? And then down here at the bottom, I have my garden journal, which I probably will move up, which I usually do, and my financial snapshot, I will move up as well, so that they're up there on the top. And I always like to leave my notes page at the bottom so that I can find it very quickly, okay? Meeting links was the thing that I changed this month to make sure that they are on every single week because it makes it quick and easy for me to get to those meetings that I need to do without having to look up the meeting invitation or the meeting number or something like that. I wanted to add my financial snapshot to my basic month, and I wanted to add my monthly garden record, you know, my kind of journaling about my garden to my basic month. And so I'm going to do that. I'm also going to go back into my basic month, and on these daily pages, I am going to take out all of these monthly calendars and just leave it as appointments like that, because I think that will make it a lot easier to use. I can worry about changing, you know, the month as I get to it, but I think I'm going to do that for each page. So if I go through here and I highlight these and delete them, then when I get ready to set up September's page, I won't have to go through and do that. It'll just already be done for me. Okay? All right. Well, I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you are having a memorable month of July and coming into the month of August. I hope that you're doing a little self-care and taking care of yourself, relaxing a little bit, breathing before the hecticness of fall starts. I hope you're spending time with family and friends and people that you love in this crazy world today. There's nothing more important than spending time with those people that you love. Okay? All right. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I really, really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you for all your comments. My question of the day is, what is your big plan for the month of August? Mine is to rest and relax in my little 18-foot above ground pool that I have in the backyard. I just love getting out there and relaxing and enjoying time with my family. So leave me a comment and let me know. Maybe you have some great ideas for things to do in the month of August. Anyway, thanks for joining me again today. I really appreciate you guys. And until next time, here's hoping that you can live a more simplified and organized life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time, okay, bye.